Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're doing another spotlight video where we're going to be using Zinc, the second awakened living armor, dark attribute. This guy is actually a really good unit. We've been using him in a lot of videos the last few days, and I thought it would only be fair to make a spotlight for this guy. So of course I prettied him up a little bit for this video. Got his runes looking right, and if you do have this guy and you haven't built him, I'm going to show you in this video exactly why you do need to be building him. And why he actually might get you access to at least 1 or 2 new dungeons, depending on how we do in this video. So, without any further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the skills, go into the monster info, look at what people have to say, look how people have built him, rune statistics, usage statistics, look at how I have built him, and then we'll use him a bit. So, again, without any further ado, let's get into the skills. Skill 1 is called Pulverize. It strikes the enemy with a hammer and prevents the target from receiving beneficial effects for 2 turns with a 50% chance. If the target is under defense reduction effects, its attack speed is decreased for 2 turns. The damage increases according to your defense. So with this skill, there are 3 things to talk about. 1, the block's beneficial effects. 2, the attack speed decreasing. And then obviously the damage according to defense. So the block's beneficial effects, or the target prevents the target from receiving beneficial effects, which is just block's beneficial effects. This is going to be useful for places like Steel Fortress. This could potentially be useful for for Punisher's Crypt if you play your hand right, which we'll take a look at that later. But it could be useful for those 2 dungeons, which for a lot of you guys, you're eventually going to get into this dungeon, and you're going to notice that if you don't know how to beat these dungeons, if you don't know which units to bring, which, by the way, I've made a video on the Steel Fortress Punisher's Crypt coming soon. If you don't know how to beat these stages or these bosses, you'll just get wiped out. And you won't know that units like Zinc just really take control of this situation. They destroy these bosses, right? So the block's beneficial effects could be helpful in both places. For the Steel Fortress, the thing that makes Steel Fortress a very annoying stage is he gets a shield every time he's attacked. He gets a defense buff every time he's attacked, and then I believe he mitigates damage the damage that he's supposed to receive by, I believe, like 20% per buff, I believe. So he can prevent so much damage from coming in that you're just never going to do any damage. You'll bring units like Crow, you'll bring units that just do tons of damage, and they won't be able to damage this guy's HP bar. And on top of that, he heals. So it's a very annoying boss. But Zinc totally shuts this guy down with that 1 debuff, preventing him from even receiving the shield, even preventing him from even receiving the defense buff with just the beneficial effects block. And that's on skill 1. That's on every skill, but on skill 1 especially, it's really big. Decreasing attack speed as well as the block's beneficial effects could be really good for Punisher's Crypt. Could be. But prevents the enemy from taking as many turns by slowing it down. And then damage according to defense. Just because his skills say that does damage according to defense, I wouldn't build him on defense or on damage, because you're going to be focused on so many of his other stats that you won't have the space to do damage. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't. So it's up to you, but I wouldn't. Skill 2, Spinning Smash. Attacks all enemies to inflict damage proportionate to your defense. Each attack has a 50% chance to reduce the target's defense and block beneficial effects for 2 turns every 3 turns. So now it's an AoE, and it decreases the defense and blocks beneficial effects. Again, really good blocks beneficial effects. Now it's AoE, and now you're AoE defense breaking. So this can be really helpful, especially when you're considering leading up to the boss stage, right? If you could AoE defense break everybody, and then your damage dealers go in and they do whatever they need to do, which is kill the units, having an AoE defense break alongside the block's beneficial effects is really good. You're eventually going to run into just that lineup of units that are just going to buff the hell out themselves and just prevent you from doing what you need to do. I mean, you could potentially use this in places like Labyrinth. I I mean, I wouldn't, but you could bring him in TOA for units like, what is her name? Rina. Rina, I believe her name is. The water. Oh gosh, where's she at? Why am I trying to spell out her name? She's on screen somewhere. Rina, the water Epicon priest, where she gets a shield on herself. Units like that are just spamming shields, spamming buffs or whatever, you could place that to prevent them from receiving those buffs. It could be helpful there. But again, the defense break is really the biggest part, and that's every 3 turns. Skill 3, Heaps of Ashes. Attacks all enemies 3 times each dealing damage proportionate to your defense. I don't care about the damage based off of defense. Each attack has a 70% chance to reduce the target's attack power and blocks beneficial effects for 2 turns. So we're really looking at, yes, blocks beneficial effects, but we're mainly looking at the attack power thing here, where this is big for the Steel Fortress. The thing about Steel Fortress is that he has like a passive called Thundershock, where he will attack you every 5 turns, so a full rotation. And the amount of times he attacks you is going to be based off of his attack. So if he can come in and place an attack power break on the boss will deal less, or will do less attacks, and he'll just, again, overall deal less damage. Again, this could be very helpful for the Punisher's Crypt, again, if we play our cards right. So you can use them in all those places, but tons of AoEs. So yeah, so his kit, by looking at his kit, the way I would build him is on Despair. He has tons of AoEs, tons of multi-hits, even though I think Despair doesn't go up based off of every single hit. I think it's just, you get one chance to do it. It's not, you don't get a chance every single hit. They nerfed Despair runes a little bit. But 2 AoE skills, I would go Despair, and you can either go Energy or Focus. I wouldn't really care about going Violent. There's no reason for him to be on Violent, other than maybe an extra chance to land that blocks beneficial effects in case you miss it. But I'd go Despair just to help with wave clear and all that. When you look at where you're going to be using him and what he could do, especially with the skill 2, since he can do AoE defense break, since he's going to be using Steel Fortress and you want to block beneficial effects, you want him to essentially try and go first. Build him as fast as you can, as tanky as you can, and as accurate as possible. So speed, HP defense, or HP, whichever you can manage, with tons of accuracy and tons of speed in the substats. What comes after that is up to you. But let's take a look at the monster info. So I don't care about what this guy has to say in terms of his lore. I mean, now he's given us lore. Heck, why not? Here was a young living metal armor seeking its soul from the darkness when it came upon an island where craftsmen enhanced its abilities and bestowed a hue of obedience. Now it battles enemies against the island and its defense. And then he went a little bit damage. So he went speed, crit damage, defense. You need to roll out that resistance for crit rate. And then, dude, you have no crit rate on this guy. How are you good? Whatever. Artifacts, meh. He just threw on random artifacts. Skill 1 accuracy is good, I guess. But speed, HP, defense, and then some accuracy. He managed to throw in crit damage. You do not need to skill this guy up. I mean, I guess the skills help land harmful effects on a skill 2, but there's no need. I like this one. Really great 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Is the game trolling me? What is with Jesus is King, blah, 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 blah. Steel Fortress Abyss. Yeah, this is everywhere he's being used. And it's only Steel Fortress Abyss. I want to try and using him in Punishers, potentially. Statistics, Despair Guard, Despair Focus, Despair, Rage Blade, nope. I do not care about his damage. Slot 2 speed, yep. Slot 2 should be speed. Defense, I guess. But I would go speed. Crit damage, I would go defense or HP, and then defense or HP. Let's take a look at mine. How about I show you a proper Zinc? So of course mine is not skilled up, doesn't need to be. Here is my Zinc. 103 bonus speed, 1400 defense, 18,000 HP. No crit rate, no crit damage, tons of accuracy. This is what he should look like. He's on focus. You'll notice that he's on speed, defense, HP. Substats have either speed or HP, accuracy or resistance. I try to make sure that all of them have either accuracy, HP, or speed in them. So, there you go. This is the worst rune out of all of them, in my opinion. That and this one. Because there's crit rate, crit damage. But, whatever. His artifacts, damage taken from light is decreased by 15%. Everything else doesn't matter. This one, crit damage taken minus 6%. Skill 2 recovery is BS. I could maybe switch that around. Skill 3 accuracy, 6%. Skill 1 accuracy plus 9%. Let's see. Could I mess with this a little bit? Oh, I have so little mana. Skill 2. Yeah, do you want to decrease the recovery by 10%? No. We could do this. So, that's what we could do. We're going to use him in Steel Fortress. And then maybe Punishers. But let's go to Steel Fortress. So, I had made a beginner guide for Steel Fortress in case you haven't watched it. If you're trying to, if you need a team to help you beat Steel Fortress, I have a team, I've made a guide that uses tons of teams. We've tried out many teams. Half of them have Igmonodon, half of them have Zinc. So, a lot of those teams are free to play that I've shown in the video. Go watch it if you need help beating Steel Fortress Abyss hard. But, this is generally what your team will look like. Verd pushes turns, gives an attack speed lead. Irogar places an attack buff, vampiric effect, and he also slows attack break and blocks beneficial effects. Obviously, we went through Zinc. Lauren can strip off the shield and defense buff, disturb HP recovery on there as well, which disturb HP recovery is going to be a pretty big deal. Other than that, you can go any unit. We'll just go Rayoke, because Rayoke is efficient. And then, let's see how this goes. Yeah. If you have Zinc, build him. Very easy to build. The types of runes you're going to be throwing on him are going to be runes that... Because you're not going to be using common runes, right? When I think of, runes that are commonly used, I think of, Swift, Fatal, Blade, Rage, Violent. These are typically runes that are universal, right? Where everyone uses these types of runes. And with Zinc, you're not going to be using really any of those. You're going to be using Despair. You can go Despair Energy, Speed, HP Defense, all the tanky subs and stats. But really easy to build. Just make sure he's fast. I think fast is really the first bit that you need to worry about, because if he's not going first, then you're gonna have a bit of a difficult time. So let's see. So there you go. He blocks beneficial effects. Lauren just has to strip those off. That, or we have to destroy the shield naturally. Boom. Okay, there, we destroyed the shield. We just need to strip off the defense buff. But this should be more than enough. Or he'll just get rid of it himself. So now, we can start doing damage. Boom. But Lauren is a big deal because of Disturb HP recovery. You gotta remember his Thunder Shock passive is gonna heal him. So, there we go. We're dealing pretty good damage. Rayoke can be really replaced by anybody, but you want units like Rayoke, like fire attributes. If you're going to bring a damage dealer, bring one that's fire attribute, so they could deal more damage, since this is a wind dungeon. But, minute 49, not exactly the fastest, but it works. Let's try some other units, maybe? Okay, so we're bringing along Bernadette. Bernadette has attack bar reduction, so, and branding, so he might help with damage. Boom. I don't use Bernadette outside of Rift too often, so it's nice seeing his damage when we do use him. Like, look at this. Boom. Oh my gosh. Just the clear is just insane. And then we're going to have Argar use this. Argar didn't use his buff. God dang it, Argar. Why are you doing that? Don't use your buff outside of the stage. Okay, so we do... Oh my gosh, we actually landed everything. Decreasing speed, disturb HP recovery, defense break. I mean, everything's looking nice. Come on. So see Bernadette. Oh, you gotta love Bernadette. It's been so long since I made a video on Bernadette. Ah, so good. That was nice. That was pretty fast. 1:25, yeah. I think even if you're just using him in Steel Fortress, he's still a really good unit. I mean, you saw the work he was doing in Steel Fortress. I mean, he he is the reason our team is succeeding in Steel Fortress. I mean, you could say, oh, Irogar has blocks beneficial effects, but his AI is not super reliable. I've tried to do it without Zinc before and without Igmonodon and just Irogar as the blocks beneficial effects unit. Irogar can miss it a lot, and if Irogar doesn't land it, you go like 2 or 3 turns without doing damage. You get stunned, you get defense broken, and your team just dies, right? But with Zinc, having it on every turn or on every skill, you're bound to have it on within the first go-around. So you're able to defeat the boss much faster, making him super viable, even if it's just for this one place. I mean, he could be like a frontline tank in some spaces. Like maybe if you wanted to, you could argue Rift Raid. I mean, he does block, beneficial effects, speed, attack speed break, defense and attack break. Pretty useful unit. But I don't know. Were there other places you thought we could have used this guy? I mean, you could use him probably in Giants, but I wouldn't. But I don't know. Tell me what you guys think, and subscribe to the video. We're almost there to 1K. Help this channel get to 1K. I don't know. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.